very important issue. All this observation you are doing is within the conflict-affected areas, and some of these survivors are, let's assume, being raped or sexually assaulted by people who are so influential, people of high rank. Now, in such a situation, how do you really do the whole process of making sure that the survivors get the necessary help?
In case we come across a case of where the perpetrator is of high rank or even an officer, the fear is there. Like we have the element of reporting. The people, like the relative of the victim, they don't come. They are not ready to report because of fear from the person with the ranks.
One of the man of the Sarah de Arabian cave. هاد بيتنا وابوات بيتنا بارو كمان بقدر فيه.
بس أنا دير كلام قالي في خوف. يعني مثلا كان جنا اتصبوا بزول الكبير، زول كبير في عسكرية، زول عنده رتبة عالي في عسكرية، أهل تبنيها اللي اتصبوا ده ولا أهل تبنيها النياكامو ده، وما بيرودوا جا قدام عشان بيجا ودي ريبورت، عشان هو كافو زول احتمال بيجا دوغومون ولا بيجا أو غومون، أمون كافو. وكان أنا كلم قالي يعني reporting about sexual violence, we don't only do it in Juba. Like for my office, which is Juba Field Office, we cover the whole of Central Equatoria. Our office is for Central Equatoria. We have the same office such as the office of Dr. Opie and Rejoice. We have it in Yei. We monitor such cases as well. In Yei, we have a one-stop center for cases of rape and other forms of sexual violence. And we encounter not only girls being raped, also we have boys who are being raped in the same situation. And then like the cases in Yei, يعني في حالات اللي حصل في Yei, there are some elements that will not allow the survivors to come and report. One of them is distance, 2, insecurity, 3, willing. There is lack of will from the survivors to report. I spoke about the will in my first. They are not willing to come for the fear of repetition, for the fear of stigma from the community.
Jen, once again, طبعا في مشاكل أصل في مناطق مختلفة داخل جنوب السودان، وريلا أنه بس مكون success story وايد والاثنين ألتا بيلقى في بنية التسفو ولا نياخمو أخيرا إتم كمان برجو لهادي زول قادة برغدية قادة مجا قادة شنو في عسكري بارو كمان حكمو وسرفايفر بارو ليكو عدالة.
Cases أنا ما follow cases there at Keen because إحنا عندنا level. What we do within my office, we do monitoring, and we do verification, and we do reporting. Those are 3 main things that we do. And after we have done this, we document those cases. And then we have our office, which is human rights. They are the one who are following up such cases in the judiciary. In courts. Like now we have juvenile courts. In juvenile courts, we don't have an opportunity of going to juvenile courts to follow up such cases, but I know that such cases exist. But I did not follow them up because of the time factor. We don't have that. But we have a number of cases where victims or the perpetrators were taken and they are being tried. But I don't have statistics of such cases. But I'm quite sure my colleagues from human rights, they have that.
Dr. P, in most cases, all these sexual violations happen in hard-to-reach areas. Now, what kind of assistance would you recommend to one of the survivors or to someone who is also listening to you now? You will find that Mafi Museshfa, there's no medical care, and at the same time, a survivor needs, of course, a medical attention.
Yes, in the particular place where the accident happened, if there is a facility, there is doctors which in that particular place, just she can or her can go and report herself to the facility, and then everything is going to be documented, or they will refer case to the Juba teaching hospital. But also if it delays, it is still not a problem, the case can be still open to the police. And then in management, we have 4 co-principals of GBV. When the victim reaches to us, we have to make sure there is safety, and then safety of the survivor, and then confidentiality of the survivor. We keep the information, and also no non-discrimination of the survivors in the facility, and then the safe environment.
Very important. Now, earlier on, Jen talked about some of the survivors are really unwilling to talk, or even their relatives. Now, in such a situation, what other barriers as a medical personnel you also encountering with some of these survivors of sexually assault or violated? What kind of challenges are you normally encountering with them?
Yeah, when such kind of happen, some parents do not allow their children to go and report or to go and tell to their mother. They will say, no, this might be a shame to the family, and yeah.
And how is that also really stopping someone from getting the necessary medical attention or care? Like if the family refuse to, open up or willing to even talk.
Yeah, في مرحلة تانين ذاته أكو ياو بعمل راب ده أو once le victim ده كلمة report كذا كأنت report أنا بقاتل ليتا.
وزيد باسر كيف يعني في نهاية بتمستشفى برو كمان.
مستشفى أنا كتير لومن كان في أجاسل زده they have to report him or herself to the nearest place, police or community leader, or to tell to somebody who he loves. Yeah, and then in all the facilities within Juba, we have focal people for GBV referral pathway. Okay. When they report to NFL facility, they will just refer to us to Juba Teaching Hospital.
Wow.
For further management.
Joyce, Luca, what other community issue or beliefs equally contribute, like for survivors not to preventing survivors from reporting some of these incidences or sexual violation?
Yeah, the other community, they don't report the survivor for medical. Yeah, because they are fear. Okay, because sometimes they fear for future for survivor. لأنه هم بيعرف هنا side effect اللي بيحصل لسرفايفر ده شنو. عشان هم بيعملوا يعني نظام زي سترة كده.
نعم.
يا هم ما بيريبورت. لكن sometimes namanita can they are coming to the one stop center. When you do the counseling, then accept. Yeah.
وبيدبت بمعنى كمان لشكل أسرة زادة شناشان كيف كمان من غيره أخلاق وواجهات المون قد بعمل لبرا.
I give them the أنا بقول لهم effect تا كذا يعني sometimes when you refuse to come to do the examination or to getting the treatment, sometimes somebody will be died. Tabi loss zolta kide. Lakin it's better for you to come and getting the treatment, and also sometimes when you need the legal
assistance.
Support, legal assistance to mishanta bishilu hak bitag kaman.
Now, Jen, what strategies are in place to support survivors of sexually assaulted in a situation where there's also a conflict, in a situation where the family refuse also to open up? Now, in such a situation, what are the strategies in place to help such individuals?
We have been conducting a number of trainings, and like to get community, to raise the community awareness on the effects of such cases. And it's not only sexual violence in all the 6 grave violations. Usually we conduct 2 days training workshops to different communities, legal officers, as well as police, military personnel, chiefs. You know, we train them. And also from let me talk from high level, like there is a communique about conflict-related sexual violence. And conflict-related sexual violence, we have, that one is general, but we have the component of child protection within that. So I remember 2 years ago, it was last year, not even 2 years ago, it was last year, there was an action plan signed between child protection and women protection, and all this because of conflict-related sexual violence where a child is a victim. So it's one of the communique that we look at it as a document. It's a working document that will also improve on situation of children in case we adapt it, like everyone adapted that document as a live document for us to work on and see to it that children within communities are protected. Yeah.
All right, dear listener, if in case you have just joined us, you're listening to the Sundown Show on iRadio with me, Madram James, and you can as well visit our Facebook page, drop in your comment or question to my guest in the studio. Remember, we are talking about rape and sexual violence, which remains a serious challenge in South Sudan, leaving survivors with a lasting physical, emotional, and psychological trauma. Now, what's your question to Dr. Paul Opie or Joyce Luca, who is a clinical officer, Dr. Opie, then Joyce Luca, social worker at Juba Teaching Hospital, and of course, not forgetting Jen Simon, who is a child protection officer, United Nations Mission in South Sudan. A couple of you have sent in your messages via that's our Facebook page. We have free money. So you said, good evening, Madram James, and you are guessing in the studio. I'm watching you live from Western Equatoria State, Yambio. Thank you. Eromgo Patrick Yellow, most of our health facilities in South Sudan don't have a private and privacy for survivors. And I guess Opie and Joyce will talk about that in such a situation, what's the way forward. Cholthon Bany is sending his greeting from Ural East, Lake State. Thank you. Francis BR, thank you so much for joining us live from Bor Town, Jongle State. Now, let's first react to the comment sent by Eromgo Patrick. He is sending in from that Nimule municipality of Eastern Equatoria State that in South Sudan, most of the private or health facilities don't have a private sessions or center and privacy for survivors. In such situation, what's the way forward, Dr. Paul Opie?
Okay, particularly in Juba, we have a separate space for survivors of sexual violence. We call it one-stop center. It is within Juba Teaching Hospital, but only we see the victim of sexual rape or sexual assault. But in some states like Western Equatoria, I think there is one-stop center in Yambio, and in Eastern, which is Numule, there is some clinician which has been trained to handle cases of sexual violence in that particular health facilities. Although the lacking stage, particularly designed for the sexual violence, but I think they have the separate place to see the victim of survivor, and then also they have documents to be written. Yeah.
نعم لو عندك سؤال خاص في 0911 هل في جنة تاكي كان تصفوا قبل كده وده في زمن بتاع مشاكل فدكتور بول ولا جويس ولا كمان جين في Child Protection Unit بقدر جواب ليتة توالي أرقام هكذا مفتو ناسما من ده هاي راديو.
Hello?
نعم.
Hey, how are you guys?
We are doing great. How are you?
I'm okay. Oji Munda from Jebel.
Good to have you, OG.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not going to ask the guys a question, huh?
Mm-hmm. What's your comment?
But I'm going to put something like a solution to all these problems. You know, some cultures in our communities are so bad. Imagine if you want to marry, like from Lagos State, you have to pay around 100 cows. Now, also the women, they don't have rights. Yeah, and to go to school or to choose who to marry. And also, marriage has to be free. When marriage is free, all these things will be minimized. You will get a woman that will fall in love with you. You will not think of raping a young girl. Your life will be solved. If you have business, you have your small money or small job, you will maintain yourself. But now, you have to marry with 100 cows. Your in-laws need this and this. Even the girl is now in senior 2, and they have to pull her out from the school in order to go and marry a big man, which is not good, and they are abusing the right of the women and young girls. Yeah? This is too bad, especially this Dinka and Mondari plus Nuer plus Bor. Wala, these people, they are spoiling the young girl. Yeah, at least here in some parts of Central Equatoria, if you give the one of Joab 5 million or 2 million, you can settle with your woman. But there in the village, they want 100 cows, walai.
Mushkila deal. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Jen, what's your take on that? According to him, some of these high bright prices contribute also to issues of rape. What's your take? تبقول بتبشنو.
والله أنا بقول مش only high dowry, high bright price. لكن في حاجات تانية في تدخل تعداد. يعني our culture, there is interference into our culture. Like in the past, some girls you will wait until you get married, then you can indulge in some of those activities. But now, because of too much of we are too much exposed to other cultures. We have internet, we have videos, we have a lot of things that our children are exposed to. And sometimes even a child at a young age, she knows things more than some of us who are adults. So it's really horrible. So I don't know how to put it, but I don't know how to tackle that situation. But we need like, as my colleagues have put it, that we need to have like sex education in the schools. Maybe we need to train children because it's better that we train them in the schools, or the parents, they have to train the children on sex education than for them to learn from outside. When they learn from outside, it will be worse than learning from home.
Okay. Opi, this also goes to you. You normally deal with survivors of that's GBV, which is rape and sexual violence as well. When you are talking to these people, what are some of their real issues? And according to one of our caller, the issue of bride price contribute to some of all these other grave violations. What's your take first?
Yes, especially in issue of paying higher bride price. This one needs awareness within the community, and then in other places which he have mentioned, the other states like Lake State, Unity, and then the other state, they need to do massive awareness on a special, not to force a lady or to drop a lady from school and then to go and so become a source of income. We have to carry awareness with the other acting partners, and then include some other ministries, which is Ministry of Education, and then Ministry of Health, and then also Ministry of Gender and Social Welfare. And then it come into health. Early marriage or rape, it have a lot medical. It have a lot of consequences. One, early marriage, the victim will get pregnant during the delivery. It will be complicated. She cannot able to deliver because the organs is still not well developed. It will lead her to health issues like cesarean section, and then cesarean section will be delivered by operation, and then but if the parents or victim report early to us, we have some medication which will prevent her from STI section transmitted infection, and then to prevent her from getting a pregnancy.
I see.
And then we also managing the complications if there is injuries.
Thank you. We have PK Tano. He's saying a very good evening, Chief and the guests in the studio. I'm watching you live from Nyakuron West. To Joyce Lucas Zakayo, the social worker. That given your experience at Juba Teaching Hospital, what are the primary challenges you face in providing support to survivors of sexual violence, and what specific resources or policies are mostly needed to improve the care and protection of these individuals? Thank you. But before that, let me pick this caller. Hi, radio.
Hello.
Are you? Oh, Lucas Ebit.
Misal Care.
Misaha Nur.
Ama Canada Calfria wants the fix the marketeer.
Gadam.
Ita no jena aligi jozu madrasa. Uma kwes. Kalamade kullu gija min wen, kalamade gija kullu mini akoma. Zol damu rating le biya bitak. Wakati wasu diga fi gonun, lifa dere obi wagi fu kalamde fi gonun kide. Jadu zolu alamu rating wa bineta gere silu edisi si nade fi sujun bendun moluma le zol de ajal gasil fi madrasa kalamade ma gasil fi dakilju bende diga futu lakini fi khulayat kalamade ma fi malo fi khulayat ina fi gonun asil fi ay lakini fi dakilju ben ana ma ayin nasi yade malian yade fi agire nasi fi sujun fi juba ina wallahi ma kama tuban ma fi ita mawala tage hata bidoru hakika mafu ita kanita de dabi de karibiga alasker de wala ge kafu de ze wala ras de bazar ma kafu zere yani muskila wen asker de kaman fi gumaf asker de ma fi gilit ay asker de ma ina yani zol de kafu de ga mutu berib khalas yani ma kamade dar bisarta guzere zol de lisa mustamir ma marati to de lisa abubu tawala de lisa sakal ma kalamada de لكن ما لما دري يلو كلام نسيا على كده أصيل في خلايا ده ما لما يلو كلام زين على كده أصيل في خلايا ليه ده لو كافة سنو أنا في جنوب السودان يعني بس في جلوغالي جنوبي أنا ما أيون ما كمان نسيا في كلامات بتاعتك أنا ما أيون ويوم قال أم راتين ده تلا ما سيك على كويس يعني بكتوزول ده أنا بكلام قال أهم كني هما تقول ده about tabenia de que der gurus ma faja zade zon gumba binia tafi ma de fa kef ana biselim lo binia kef yan haja al galata ma kama de ke li hilu bitariga al kwez ita gero hilu ma kama badini bilel sila jibule ta sila biga silbet de haja stan al biga de jado furu jarbe rating laro kala de biga jibo sakin kabir lakin haja de zade uman ne akuma keluman fata ena kalamar zade jena zado ma bi alijo kef kefu dawa ni si ma fi yani zado gonun maf makwes de la ana makwes ana du gullo man kelu man makana kalamar de tan mara zol am rating kelamulu makamata rating de ze kaman rating gonun kede yawo fogi fogo magal ana sirjana de ana kan yaro fogo wallahi bi jib haja kap salani na school biga hakuma ma fi zola sa de bikilem gali yani junubi de biga kulu muaten mafi na kulu das kulu musalayin fi balade ma fi zol biga kamu وسكرنا سنة هذه نسية ما في أنا ما أعرفه هل يقولون ده بقى ما في ناس تقدر مدرسة ده بقى جراتها كان ما جفجع جراو فنزول بليجو يعني موق على كويس لكن كجرات أنا دبي ما صدق بطال.
نعم جن في داخل الاستوديو بجوابته. نعم جن قال تبيلغا ناس بزدلو زول عسكري نيكم بيتال سكر نازاد جي قافسان وين سكانم ده وكثيرتو some of these officials go unpunished. Why is that happening?
أنا بس بيوري عن life example اللي حصل يعني when we come across such cases and we go to verify. Just I told you earlier on that we do verify some cases, and when we go to verify, we will find that the perpetrator has already been transferred to a different location, and for you to locate him is a problem. So as the listener has reported, we encounter such cases where the perpetrators always are being transferred to another location, and then we could not follow up that case because now we could not locate him, and then the leadership of that command is not ready to cooperate with us, and also we term it as lack of cooperation from that side, you know. And sometimes when they cooperate, they will detain the perpetrator, and after a few days and punish. And then, you know, when you see such cases when the perpetrator is unpunished, it means that it will show a bad example that the others will continue to commit the same crime because the perpetrator is left unpunished.
Now in such a situation, what is UNMIS doing, especially the sessional unit of child protection unit?
We have focal persons working with us on sexual violence, and then also we have it was last year when we have that mobile court. That mobile court happened in Yei only, and by then we had a case. I managed to document a case where a girl, she was raped by 2 SSPDF guys. You know, like series of it is not a gang rape. Sometimes we call it gang rape, but the rape happened in 2 different events. They took advantage of the girl. In what way? Like the girl, she was going to visit her mother. She was staying in the barracks, and then she was going to visit her mother. On the way, one of the military officers got her in with a motorbike that, let me take you to where you're going. And then he got advantage of that. He raped her. The girl stayed with him 2-3 days. And then the girl went back. And then the father asked, where have you been? She said, somebody took me and stayed with me for some times. And then the guy was taken to the court, to the police and detained for some times. And later, the girl was released instantly. And then because they were staying in the same location, and then another guy also got her and raped her. You know, the 2 guys, I remember witnessing their case in Yei where they were tried, and in that trial, like their ranks were stripped, and they were given like 7 days they were in prison for 7 years. You know, that was the only case that I saw happening in Yei. But in Juba, I haven't witnessed a single case where a perpetrator of sexual violence is being punished.
Wow. What a terrible situation. Now, just look, it's time for you to answer the question dropped in by PK Tano, that in providing assistance to survivors of sexual violence, now, what kind of challenges are you facing, number 1? Then number 2, what are some of the resources or policies urgently needed to address the challenges that you mentioned? Welcome.
Yeah, the first one, when you need to welcome the survivor, yeah, you told them the confidentiality because for fearing. Because sometimes the perpetrator is near or the perpetrator is within family. Sometimes they are fearing. You give her the chance to recover. Yeah. Then the support, if the case is very critical, I'm referred direct to medical. To get the treatment.
Now, what is needed to address the challenges you talked of? Or policies or resources, is it needed?
Yeah, sometimes we have some items we given to survivor like a support. Yeah.
Are those items enough now?
Sometimes enough defense.
What do you want the stakeholders and key actors to also provide? You say it's sometimes, meaning the resources are not enough. What do you want really the key actors to do?
Because when you come to the end of year, the items they are going not enough for survivors, because we receive the many survivors. Like per day we receive like 8 survivors, 4 survivors, 6 survivors. The total is for survivors is too much.
Okay. Let me now go through some of the messages right here, and then I give chance to Opi as we are almost coming to the end of our discussion. James Hiata is saying, good evening, Madram. James, I'm watching you live from Bazia, Jidita, Wow Town. Thank you. Then Kon Bless is joining us live from Jabeldinga here in Juba. Amule Emmanuel, that I appreciate the program for protecting GBV in the community. I'm calling upon the international organization to fund the CEOs, that's civil society organization at the grassroots level to take a lead within our communities by providing that awareness. I remember in 2012, the civil society organization are really helping a lot in terms of giving awareness, not only that there are so many issues which they really need to be addressed. Thank you. We have Salvation Ganditi saying unemployment is the main issue of main cause of raping young girls. Remember, I don't mind always a devil that's idle mind is always a devil workshop. I hope you will also later on come and Jen as well to react to that, whether unemployment is also contributing to issues of that's rape. Makeri is saying, good evening, Madram. James, watching you live from Chuebet County of Lake State. I appreciate the program of GBV. Know that silence does not consent. Don't blame rape survivors for the violence perpetrated against them. Up to here, dear listener, we are remaining with only 3 minutes to wind up this show. So, Opi, you respond, and then I give chance to Joyce, and finally to Jen. Welcome as we are coming to the end of our discussion.
Yes, thank you again. I'm just talking about, especially in terms of supplies, especially in social support, we have dignity kits, which are always supplied by our partner, our donor, but sometimes it's not enough because numbers of cases which we are receiving in the facility is too big. And then also the medical supplies also we're receiving from our partners, but sometimes it finishes before the times due to the large population which is within the Juba town.
So what's your message briefly to the public?
My message briefly to the public, if GBV or rape or sexual assault happen to you, you have to report to somebody, or you report to the nearest facility, police station or health facility for the early health intervention, which some other diseases can be prevented early. But when you report late, it can be impossible to give you the medical service.
All right. Finally, Joyce, your last message, Akarisala Bitak.
Yeah, thank you. If the cases for GBV happen, it's better for you to report on time. Also, we have the hotline 09-222-83700. This for One Stop Center, Juba Teaching Hospital.
No.
Yeah.
Shukran. Akhiran, Jen, risaltak zeni na jafi akhir munakisha fiyo malela.
rape دي والاغتصاب دي حاجة بتدمر طفل ولا كان مرة ذاته. If a child is raped or a woman being raped, is going to destroy her physical, psychological, and emotional, as well as socially. So, in case you come across such cases, please don't hesitate to report that. You need to report to the nearest place, and as well as for us, especially, we are monitoring as cases where we have the perpetrators are in uniform. Please, you can report that to Child Protection Inmates so that we document those cases. Yes, you are not seeing the results now, but in the near future, we are going to have a court. And we have live example where we have number of perpetrators for sexual violence taken to ICC just because of raping of minors.
All right. Thank you very much, Joyce, for coming, Dr. Paul Opie, and not forgetting Jen Simon. And special regards to all the staff of that armies, especially the protection unit, Elvira Wani, who is not here, not forgetting Elizabeth Kangela, who is within the building but did not really appear on air. But we thank you so much for coming. Let's meet again. Up to here, dear listener, we have come to the end of our conversation focusing on rape and sexual violence, which remain a serious case in South Sudan. I've been your host, Madram James.
إن كلنا جنوبيين سوداني